Here we go. Daddy's back.
He's back. Oh, please.
Don't call me Nymphadora.
Albus Percival Wolfric Brown. Nymfadora's got style.
You're just as sane as I am.
It's not televised.
Get away from my concert.
I've always felt our futures lay outside the world of academic achievement.
Just because you've got the emotional range of a teaspoon.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for listening to Retold, the podcast where I retell you my favorite story of all time, Harry Potter. Today, we will be covering chapters 5 and 6. Sorry, I forgot for a second. Chapters 5 and 6 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. However, I never take this journey alone. I always have with me some very special guests, and today I'm joined by the one, the only, Emily.
Hi.
Emily, thank you for joining us. We had somewhat of a Founders episode last episode, but you weren't.
But without me.
But without you. To be fair, they were last minute call-ins, and this is what made me feel better about not calling you in. I thought she wouldn't care, so it made me feel
That's
better.
true.
Like, and what I mean by that is you wouldn't be offended.
Yes.
is what I mean.
It takes a lot to offend me, so.
Yeah, let's try. We've known each other a long time. I'm sure I could do it. But anyway, really happy to have you on the podcast again. You requested these chapters specifically, so this will be a good time, fun time. Now, remind everybody, what house are you in?
I am in Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Is book 5 or movie 5 one of your favorites? I forget. I don't think it was.
I mean, it can be, I like,
depending on the weather.
it just changes, I
Mhm.
do love book 5. I think I had a newfound appreciation for book 5 when I did a reread,
Mm-hmm.
like last year or the year prior. I was like, oh, yeah, I love this version of
Mhm.
Harry.
I'm glad you said that. We talked about that a little bit on the last podcast, but I am really enjoying Harry much more than I ever have before in this book.
Hmm.
Because oftentimes we've said this a lot before already, but this being the angsty book, the one where he's kind of annoying, but reading now as an adult, I think he deserves this. This is
Yeah.
so understandable. He's asking the questions that he should have been asking, and he has the rage that he should have had for a very long time. But I don't really have much of a cold open for this episode. There's no like preamble questions.
Okay.
We're kind of just gonna hop into it. One thing I am sad about for our visual watchers, so not the listeners, but just the watchers. I noticed this the other day. If I'm looking at the camera, you've known me for a long time.
Hmm.
I've never had a beard. I've never had a beard my whole life. If I'm like this, my beard is fully in. But one thing I've noticed editing is I have the gap on this side.
You know what?
That's the side that I
It's
find.
not that bad.
This is the good side. But here's the thing. With some of our viewers or some of our co-hosts, they all say that their left side is their better side. And so I take the hit. I am so humble that I allow my viewers. Which side would you say is your better side?
I don't know. Actually, I think my right side, but I really don't care. It's okay. I'll live.
You're beautiful, so it's fine. All right. So let's do this. We're going to hop, our listeners, if you're new here, I know that you just listened to us ramble about some things you probably don't care about. But if you're new here, this is what we do every single episode. We review the books, 2 chapters at a time. We kick every episode off with trivia. Quizzitch is what we call it, where I ask my guests 2 questions. They ask me 2 questions. I keep track, and we see who knows the book better. And we see by the end of the season who knows the book better. After we recap the chapters, though, we have some extra bonus segments where we talk about our favorite lines, which I have a name now for that section. I'm trying it out.
Yay!
I'm trying it out. We'll see if you like it when we get there. We'll
Okay.
see if the viewers like it. If you do, listeners, write in, let me know. Otherwise, I'll scrap it. When we talk about our favorite lines, we talk about the movie changes and then some extra lore for each chapter about things you might not have known about. We do it all again for the next chapter. And then at the very end of the episode, we have a restricted section where we talk about spoilers for the rest of the series. So if you were not wanting to be spoiled on what happens, well, don't worry, you won't be. So that's basically everything we do here. It's a wonderful podcast. It's quickly going to become the #1 podcast in the world. So make sure you share it with all of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get it started. The Quizzitch. So as I said, listeners, I selfishly and pridefully claim that I am the most knowledgeable about Harry Potter. I've been proven right twice so far. I won book 1, I won book 4, lost book 2, lost book 3, and at the moment, I'm winning.
Oh.
I am up on the world 4-5. I'm winning by 1 point. But let's get it started. And listeners, they're based on the 2 chapters we discussed today. So, Emily, ask me your first question.
Okay. All right. I'm nervous now. What bill did Araminta Melliflua, I'm so sorry about that pronunciation, try to get the ministry to pass? So what bill?
A Muggle Hunting Act.
Oh.
So before this episode, Emily said to me, I tried to think of questions that Jesse would ask. Even while I was taking my notes, I was like, that's something Jesse would ask.
Yeah, me too. Darn it.
Okay, your question. Very similarly. Who's the... No, that's not fair. Let me do a different one. Who was... What was the price set on Sirius's head? His bounty.
It's
It's a lot of galleons.
10,000 galleons.
Emily? That is correct.
Really?
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh my
ding.
gosh. Yay. That was a shot in the dark.
Good shooting. What's your next question?
Okay, next question.
I'm so proud of you. Look at that.
Thank you.
Even though it was an accident.
It was subconscious. I knew in here.
Mm-hmm.
What object does Harry notice in the glass cabinets? You can name one.
Just, okay.
Besides, like, an obvious one.
What is,
Sorry.
no, that's not fair.
I can't reveal anything more than
Okay.
that.
So not including the obvious one, which is frick.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I know a bunch of objects that they mess with. I just don't know if they were in the cabinet. So I'm going to go with a snuff box. Or what about a music box?
I think you're right.
I know the snuff box bites Sirius' hand. I just
Okay.
don't know if that was in the cabinet or not.
Here's the thing. I'm probably just gonna give it to you because they visit it in one chapter. Like they're gonna like go in there and Harry's peeking at it, and then they actually do go in. So I think I took my notes the first time he mentions it. I'm
okay.
just gonna let you have it.
We'll see when we get.
See how easy I am.
Yeah, much easier than the last 2 episodes where I was asked to name like.
I know. I was like,
I had 10-part
like,
questions.
Jesse would ask him to name every single object.
Yeah. Okay, your question. Let's do this. Here's a 50-50. It's a Fred or George.
Okay.
Who sat on Harry's bed?
Oh no.
Which twin sits on Harry's bed? And here's the thing. This is from the same chapter. I didn't do one from each in this case, but my other 2 are kind of hard. So I'm
I
good with
appreciate
this.
that.
Yeah.
Kindness. I think it's George.
That is correct.
Yes!
Ding, ding, ding. 2-2. Okay, and that means that the score after this one
Remains the
is
same.
6-7.
6-7.
Oh, well. That's the Quizzitch update on this particular episode. 6-7. I'm still leading the world. Take that, everybody. Edit that out. But the Future Barry is going to hop back in with our Quizzitch question for the audience. So you might not know this, Emily, but if you sign up to become a patron, you get to ask the audience Quizzitch question. At least you get to suggest the audience Quizzitch question. At the moment, we only have the one patron. It's just Zach. So I texted him literally just a few hours ago. I said, hey, what's the question for this episode?
Did he give you one?
He did give me one.
See, look at the privileges you could have if you pay a measly $3 per month.
Look at that.
That's
selling
amazing.
Less than a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
All right? You get, so let's just run through it real quick. If you want to sign up at patreon.com/Retold podcast, you get to hear the bonus episode every single month where Jesse and I recap the Hogwarts mystery plotline. We're starting year 2.
Oh, I love Hogwarts Mystery. I do. That wasn't sarcastic.
That sounded like you were selling the product.
I am. I do love that game. Can I say something real quick?
Say it.
I had that game on my old phone and then I got a new phone and I was so upset about losing my progress because I never logged it into my Facebook that I haven't restarted the game.
That
so I
makes
never
sense
finished
because
it.
it's infuriatingly slow.
Like the updates made it worse, Loki.
But here's the thing. You don't have to sit through and replay it all. You can listen to me and Jesse recap the plot line.
That fixes my problem.
That fixes your problem. You also get to contribute to the Quizzitch question every single week, listeners. Sometimes we have a second bonus episode each month. Sometimes Emily and I have one waiting in the wing. I haven't released it yet because
it's really good.
I'm lazy. But and then what was the other one? The other bonus is you get to take part in polls. If I ever am like, hey, what topic should I cover for one-off episodes? You know, they get to vote on what they would
choose your
do.
content.
Yeah. So listeners, just $3 a month. That's all it is. So all that is on patreon.com/Retold podcast. Check that out. All right. Now, moving on to the meat and potatoes of this episode. Not so fast past Barry and Emily. So you see, listeners, something you might have noticed is that Emily and I had such a wonderful pitch for the Patreon that we just kept going and going. And ultimately, we actually forgot to say what last week's Quizzitch question was for the audience. My apologies about that. But have no fear, Future Barry's here to tell you what last week's question was. So last week's question, submitted by our lovely patron, Zach, love you, buddy, thank you very much, was after the attack by the Dementors and after all of the kerfluffle with all of the owls, Harry says, I want some information, and he sends out 3 letters. Your question, dear listeners, was, who were those 3 letters addressed to and in what order? And if you said those 3 letters were sent to Sirius, Ron, and Hermione in that order, well then, you'd be correct. Congratulations if you got that right. If you got it wrong, better luck next time. Next time being right now, your question for this week, dear listeners, is what was the name of the book that Molly consults whenever they handle the Doxy infestation? So in the chapters that Emily and I discussed today, there's a moment where we'll highlight this particular instance, but we don't say what the name of the book is. So what was the name of the book that Molly Weasley consults in order to get more information on how to handle doxies? That's your question for this week. If you want to answer that, you can write into theretoldpodcast@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at theretoldpodcast. And finally, before we hop back into the episode, one thing I did want to highlight is, as I keep saying, I even promised in last week's episode there would be sound effects for this particular episode. Here's the thing. I put them in and they sucked. They were trash. So I'm actually going to find new sound effects and put those in instead. So my apologies. Again, a third week you won't have that. I'm not going to promise again because who knows what the next ones are going to sound like to me, but there will be sound effects at some point this season. I mean that. And the last thing I'll say before we begin the chapter coverage is when I get to the Golden Snitches for the next chapter, there's a point where I say, Future Barry will hop back in and say what the rest of the Golden Snitches were, because I had a lot for the second chapter. But I'm not actually going to do that because some of those Golden Snitches could actually be used for later chapters. But I just wanted to let you guys know so I didn't leave you hanging. Anyway, all that to say, back to the podcast. We're covering chapters 5 and 6, The Order of the Phoenix, and what's the name of the other chapter?
I don't know.
Hold on, I just flipped a few pages. And the noble and most ancient house of black.
The noble and most ancient house of black.
Now, is there a reason, nice impression, is there a reason you picked these 2 chapters?
Because I forgot to pick chapters and then Barry texted me and said, this is what's
That's not what I was going for.
Okay, actually, when I was looking through what was left, I said, ding, 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 a little gold nugget in here. Why didn't anybody pick this? I like the interactions we have between Sirius and Harry a lot. And I think there's a lot of character study on Sirius, too, in these chapters. We kind of dig into his personality, I guess, right now in his situation and, his family lore, which I think is very cool and also very important for things that happen in future books.
Mhm.
So there's some good stuff in here.
Very good. Yeah. So Emily is one of the founders of the podcast, and I always say to her, you can take any chapter you want. And I usually give her first dibs. And I kind of unofficially did, all last season. I was like, just let me know what chapters you want. But I never was like, hey, it's time to submit your pick. And I looked at the list of all the remaining chapters, and I was like, oh, shoot, I haven't booked Emily for anything. So I quickly messaged. I think there was like maybe 5 or 6 options at that point.
That much.
But
That's my fault, though. It's my fault. I forgot.
It's my fault. All right.
Oops.
I should have told you. But you will see more of Emily even later this book. So she'll be on some episodes. We made it work, people. This is how much she is committed to you, dear listeners. All right. So chapter 5, the Order of the Phoenix. So Sirius just shuts his mama up. I loved the ending of the last chapter where he said, I see you've met my dear mother. So he shuts his mama up, says, sorry about that. And I pictured, sorry about that. Freaking Hagrid saying that when he shuts the door. And he says he can't get her portrait down. She's put a permanent sticking charm on there. Harry finds out that this danky, nasty place is Sirius's house. And I love the little note of Harry saying he expected a bit of a better welcome. Like talking to Sirius, like Sirius seems kind of depressed, but like, bro, I'm your godson. You should have been a little more hyped to see me. Well, Harry, he's dealing with his racist mom. Give him a break.
Yeah.
They walk into the kitchen and Harry says hi to everyone. Molly's like, Bill, pick up those parchments. Jeez. Because she caught Harry taking a little peek at what was on them.
And the secrets.
I know. I thought about saying to you, Emily, what do you think could have been on those parchments? But then it says right afterwards what's on them.
Oh,
it
really?
looks like a blueprint of a building.
I was going to say blueprints of a building.
Okay.
Yeah.
And well, in my head, sometimes when I take notes, I envision jokes. And I was going to be like, what do you think's on the parchment? And I was going to throw it to you, and you were going to say something really funny, and we were all going to laugh.
But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. Laugh, everybody. Just pretend. Anyway, I wrote, the pile of rags is Mundungus. I had to go back and see if Harry actually noticed a pile of rags. Because it says at one point, like, and the pile of rags moved and it was Mundungus. I was like, oh, did you notice that before? He did. And he thinks that the meeting is still going. Mundungus does, because he wakes up and he's like, whatever Sirius says. Mundungus is a character. Like, we know some Mundunguses, right? We were just talking about a Mundungus right before the podcast. I like the use of the word balefully to describe him. It really gives me like vibes of like a basset hound, like just droopy eyes. That's what it envisions in my head. It's good characterization, especially for Mundungus. They start making dinner. Molly doesn't want Tonks to help. I love that moment where Tonks goes, I can help out. No, dear, you've helped. You did a lot today too. You chill with Sirius. And she knocks over the chair, run into her. We should keep like a track of everything Tonks knocks over.
Oh my gosh.
The troll leg and then the chair. Mr. Weasley cutting it up. I love that. I was expecting when it said somebody was surveying the knives, chopping things, for it to be Molly. But it's Mr. Weasley just watching the knives chop all the food up.
Chopping it up.
Yeah. Harry chills at the table with Mundungus and Sirius. Crookshanks hops up into old Snuffle's lap. I love that it says he just absentmindedly just like, this feels natural.
That's his buddy.
Yeah.
That's his pal.
Harry tells Sirius, like, hey, he's been upset how his summer's gone. And Sirius goes, well, at least you got to get attacked by Dementors. That sounds pretty sick, bro. I'd give anything to get out of the house right now. The thing that does cheer Harry up, though, is that I thought this was really funny. Sirius says Dumbledore all sourly. The text specifically says, like, very flatly. And it says Harry, like, lit up when he heard that. And my note was, Harry thinks, oh, you hate him too right now?
Yeah.
Bestie!
They're commiserating. They're both bitter and angry.
At Daddy Dumbledore. Fred and George almost stab Sirius. I love that moment. Molly says Percy, and that really kills the vibe for everybody. Like, everybody's laughing, having a good time. Harry and Sirius are laughing, and she goes, she kind of sibling shames them. She says, your older brother Bill didn't do this, Charlie didn't do this, and Percy.
Full stop.
I was like, wow, you really brought us down. That's kind of a bummer.
Not that guy.
Ew. We hear about a potential boggart. You know, Molly says, "Hey, Sirius, I think there's something up there." And Sirius is like, "Sure, check it out, whatever you want." Tonks does some party tricks and she starts to change her face up. It bothers me how she does her changes though. I highlighted it in the last episode. It looks like she's farting because it says she screws up her eyes in a painful
Like she's
look.
like
It's like
focusing on it.
Yeah, I wish it was more like easy, at least kind of
Yeah,
to do.
like fluid.
But whatever. She does some party tricks though. She makes a little piggy nose. Harry thinks, "Oh, you kind of look like a female Dudley."
Dudley is just always catching strays.
Some of the guys are talking about whether the goblins will side with you-know-who. Mundungus apparently sold some previously sold and stolen toads to the same guy said selling and stealing happened with before, which is a funny story.
That
Fred,
is
George,
funny.
everybody's laughing at that. Again, really thinking about a person we talked about before the episode. We all know Mundungus. Molly rightly questions his morality. I like that line a lot where he says, "Well, I mean, like somebody else had stolen them, Molly, and I took them from that person. So it really wasn't that big of it. Like I didn't do anything
cancels
wrong."
it out.
Yeah. And she goes, "I don't know where you learned right and wrong, but I think you missed a few lessons." Sirius explains to Harry, though, that they keep Mundungus around because it's good to have somebody like that around. All right, he gets into the dark, gritty places that not everybody's willing to go.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's a good point. It's a good point. Skipping on to the next page of my notes. They all finish up dinner, and that was some good, rhubarb crumble and custard. I almost made that a golden snitch because I don't know what rhubarb crumble is. I hope I said it right, but
You did.
I think it's dessert, rhubarb crumble.
Rhubarb.
They're
They're going to be like, actually, it's pronounced rhubarb.
rhubarb. Rhubarb and Regina. Harry's feeling fat and happy. Tonks has a normal nose now. Mr. Weasley's chilling. Jenny's playing with the cat. It's a nice scene. Even Mrs. Weasley is like, "Hey, y'all, this was great. Lovely meal. I really killed it on the cooking. This was awesome. Great conversation. Anyway, let's go to bed." And Sirius says, "Yeah, but first, just a quick little thing. It's really no big deal. I just want to ask Harry a quick question. Harry, what's the matter with you?" What's the matter?
The way you were gearing up for that, I could feel it coming.
He says, "You don't want to talk about Voldemort?"
What's the matter with you?
I saw the ending to The Sopranos, and now I just want to talk like that
Oh,
all the
I
time.
see. That explains it.
Needless to say, it changes the vibe dramatically from their sleepy post-dinner
gosh.
like hangout. And they had worked so hard to redeem the vibe after Molly ruined it, and Sirius just threw him right back into like on pins and needles.
Yes.
And this begins a big old argument between Molly and Sirius. So my only note on that is explain sides because I didn't want to write
Okay.
down everything. I imagine this is the part that you want to talk about some too.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's Molly's on one side saying we shouldn't tell the kids anything.
hmm
Sirius is on the other side saying, like, Harry's been through a lot, and a lot of it involves him. He has a right to know. So we'll get into more of the nitty gritty about stuff. A few of the notes I have here. So I think, am I wrong in saying this? You side with Molly a bit in this conversation?
Not completely, but a bit.
Okay, explain.
I understand. I as a not as a parent, but her as a parent, she feels the need to protect Harry because she even says he's as good as her son. And I think he has been through a lot, and in her perspective, why put him in a position to be in more danger? And why give him knowledge where he's going to choose to do something that could possibly be risky, because he's been known to do that in the past. And he kind of like puts everything else to the wayside to investigate something when it involves him.
That's a good point. And even considering the fact too that like Dumbledore is the leader of the order, and he has said, don't tell him any more than he needs to know.
Exactly.
But then you get into the quibbles of what does he need to know? I think, so I agree a whole lot with what you just said. I don't think he should know too much. I like the protecting part of it. I also agree with, and you probably do too, but the side of which Sirius is like, hey, a lot of this involves him, and he's been through a lot. Like I love the part where he says he's been through more than most of what the Order has gone through.
Yeah.
All right. He has a right to know. My biggest issue though with Molly in this conversation is when she crosses the line personally, which she does like 2 times with Sirius, and it really bothers me. One is when she says that she thinks, actually she does it 3 times. One is, I didn't write it down, so I'll say it real quick. When she starts to bring up Sirius's orders from Dumbledore, and he's like, we will refrain from talking about what Dumbledore has told me to do. You know, like they don't need to hear that part. But the 2 major ones that I really didn't like, one was when she accuses Harry in front of accuses Sirius in front of everybody of making Harry out to be James, which I think maybe eventually you can make an argument for that. I disagree with that personally. I don't think he does, but I also think it's almost like, you know, when they say about married couples, you should never disagree in public. I think this is something that definitely should not have been said in front of everybody. And I just thought it was a little too personal. So I didn't like that one. And the one that I super didn't like, this is the worst moment of the chapter for me, is when she basically is like, it comes on the heels of a sweet moment. The one you brought up of her saying, he's as good as my son, you know? And she goes, who else does he have? And Sirius says, he's got me. And she goes, yeah, fat load of goods you were when you were locked up in Azkaban for all this. It's like, whoa, that's way over the line. He even starts to stand up. Lupin even chimes in and goes, hey, shut up, Molly. Like, I love that moment.
Lupin is such a peacekeeper. I love him. I feel like, honestly, yes, she crosses the line. Are these things that I would have said? Most likely, yes, especially the, like, he's not James. I just feel like Sirius does kind of in a way view Harry that way. And it is like, yes, Harry is more mature. Harry has been through a lot, but he's still a child, and he's not, he doesn't have the frontal lobe that you have. He's not like in his mid-30s. He's a teenager, barely.
Yeah.
So you have to consider how he's going to receive information versus an adult who has lived life. And I think Sirius can be a little bit impulsive, whereas Molly can also be hard-headed. So it's like you've got 2 solid forces opposing each other. I think that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think one thing I'll say in Molly's defense is like, this is the flip side of her character, in which we love her because she's so motherly and caring, but it's like you don't get one without the other. You know, if there's the good side of motherly, and then some people might not even say this is bad, but the motherly, if you were to take mothering to the extreme, you also get in some cases over coddling and overbearing.
And she's fierce. I mean, she rears those twins. Like, she's not going to back down. She
rears those twins. And you know what? She also, like, she's lost people. Like, her brothers, Gideon and Fabian, were both killed by Death Eaters. So I can somewhat understand. I think I like where they settle, though. You know, they talk about it a little bit. And then she cuts it off later. So I think it's a happy medium. I just didn't like the personal attacks. But anyway, Molly tries to get back up from Arthur, and Arthur's like, he takes so long. He takes his glasses off.
He's cleaning his glasses.
You know,
he's trying to figure out what to say to not piss her off.
It's like, I think it's pretty chill, actually. I mean, what he actually said, what he actually says is like, Dumbledore knows the situation now and that Harry's going to need to know some things. But I think it's pretty chill. Lupin says that he should hear it from us, like a clean version from us, rather than some garbled version from somebody else. And to me, that sounded a lot like when parents will say, I'd rather you drink with us first, and know your limit than going out there and drinking with other people. That's what that gave me vibes of. But anyway, Lupin also tells Molly to shut it. I brought that up. Love that moment. Molly is only successful-ish at sending Ginny upstairs, and she's not happy about it.
I love this. Is as a little sister, this is a little sister moment. Slamming the doors, making a ruckus because you're pissed off.
And she knows that she's going to wake up Mrs. Black on the way up.
Yes.
But she that's kind of
did
why
that
she
on
makes
purpose.
the yeah. One of my favorite moments is when Ron is arguing for him to stay, because a great point is made that I think the people who have a legit right to be there, it's Harry and the twins, because the twins are of age, and
Yeah.
Arthur gives the okay for it. He's their dad. Sirius, being Harry's guardian, gives the okay for it. All right. But Molly says that Ron and Hermione shouldn't be. And I personally don't think they should. They're not of age. But then Ron brings in the thing of, well, Harry's going to tell us anyway.
Yeah.
And he looks at Harry, right? Won't you? And I love that moment where Harry considers it. And he goes, maybe he should know how it feels to be kept in the dark.
Yes.
And then ultimately he goes, yeah, I'll tell him. I'll tell them. Fine. But I do love that moment of Ron going,
You'll tell us.
yeah, right.
And I like that bit of Harry. We haven't kind of seen that little nasty, want to jab back even at his friends because he's angry. And that's new. So I feel like we're starting to see this different side of
More
Harry.
of a complete character.
Yes.
know?
And very complex emotions happening in this book for sure.
Yeah, I went on a rant at the end of episode 1 in the restricted section talking about how Harry is a great character. So many people, I think, they take a certain version of the movie version and they say he's bland, but I don't even agree with that in the movies, but especially in the books, he goes on character arcs in every book.
Yeah.
I just think people are so used to the story, you don't see it, but yeah, I think in this, he becomes even more of a rounded character with those moments coming out as well. So anyway, it's Harry question time. Harry says, oh, he ain't heard. He ain't heard. He ain't heard a lot. And they say, you ain't heard a lot because there ain't been a lot. Why? Because you goofed up Voldemort's plans. And we learned that Voldemort, and I was vindicated. I know, Zach, you're probably going to watch this. I think I said this in the episode with you last season. It's either episode with Zach or episode with Jonathan near the end of last season. But one of the big issues was that Harry survived and was able to tell everybody that Voldemort came back. So anyway, Voldemort was trying to come back under the radar so people wouldn't know. It was a Jonathan episode. That's what it was. Sorry, Zach. That's fine. I didn't mean it, my sweet patron. Anyway, so Voldemort's trying to build his army back up and keep a low profile. The Order is trying to convince people that Voldy is really back, but the Ministry is getting in the way of all that, and they don't want to believe that Voldemort is back. Also, they're pretty scared of Dumbledore because Fudge thinks Dumbledore wants to take his job. And Harry asks if they've been telling people, and Sirius and Lupin are like, LOL, not us.
No one's listening to us.
And it's also implied that Tonks and Arthur aren't telling people either because they need to keep their ministry job. And that's the reason they gave, so they can keep their ministry job. So by extension, you can put that on Shacklebolt as well, so he can keep his job. And I was sitting there so who the heck is telling, you just listed the whole Order pretty much. Who's telling people that Voldemort's back? And they go, basically just Dumbledore. It's basically just Dumbledore. It's so what are y'all doing? If you just said your goal was to tell people that Voldemort's back, but only Dumbledore's telling people. I just thought that was funny. Also, I love that Kingsley, they brought him over and he's the head of the search for Sirius.
And he's just in his house.
I love that so much. And one of the things, a potential Quizzitch question was, where is he falsely telling people that Sirius is? Would you have gotten that right? What country?
Oh, was it? Oh my gosh, isn't it the same country they thought Voldemort was hiding in?
No, but I can see why you would think that. Tibet.
Tibet.
Really just
so random.
She probably just threw a dart on the wall.
Yeah.
It was that one. Oh, my baby. Look at my baby upstairs. Listeners can't, but she's adorable.
She's adorable.
Dumbledore has been demoted. It's chill. So they say he's been demoted from the Wizard-Gamot. He's not the Supreme Mugwump anymore. We all know what those words mean. It's chill though, because he's still got the chocolate frog cards.
That's all he cares about.
Yeah. Finally, we learn that Voldemort is after something he didn't have before.
A weapon.
I like that in this moment, Harry goes, it's such kid logic. He goes,
I know, right?
worse than the Avada Kedavra curse? Not the Avada Kedavra.
the killing curse that makes you dead?
Yeah,
What could be worse than that?
Yeah. Molly shuts it down at that point, though, and she's like, all right, time to wrap it. My exact note was, Molly comes in and says, all right, y'all, time to end the chapter. And that's the end of the chapter. Yay!
Yay!
Moving on now to our favorite lines and debuting the new name for it. So let me know if you like this. Chosen Ones. Do you like it? Do you like it?
That's great.
Oh, you don't like it?
I'm
No.
processing. I'm sitting with it.
So here's why I liked
The
it.
chosen ones.
One, it's like our chosen moments that we like in the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the other thing too, I'm putting sound effects into the episodes now.
Oh, so
And-
it's gonna be like pew, 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 pew.
Not that. When we get,
Oh.
you know how like in the opening, I put in quotes from the movies.
Yes.
Also, I know you haven't listened to the podcast, but the opening to this one is my favorite. The very before the music hits, it's Molly Weasley putting Mr. Weasley in the chair at Christmas, and she goes, "All right, Daddy's back," and then the music hits. It's my best
Oh,
work yet.
Of course.
But anyway, I like Chosen Ones because then as the sound effect for when we get to this segment, I could have Harry going, "But I am the chosen one." I like that one.
That's cute.
You don't like it. Listeners,
like
let
it,
me
I like
know
it.
if you like Chosen Ones. I thought it was banging. Jesse liked it too. All right.
I love it.
Well, the Transfiguration one is 1, 2, 3, Veraberto.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. See, that was
I like
genuine.
that.
That was a genuine statement of like. Anyway, so favorite lines. Emily, hit me with your favorite line. Your
Okay.
chosen one.
Let me pull it up.
I only have one for this chapter.
You only have one.
I only have one.
Is it the Molly one? Because if so, I won't steal it.
No.
Okay.
It's actually one I kind of mentioned already, but it's done. Anyway, go ahead.
Then I will go ahead, even though we talked about it. He's not your son, said Sirius quietly. And then he's as good as, says Miss Weasley fiercely.
Yeah. That's a beautiful line.
It is. Followed up by a...
Yeah, I didn't include it because of what it was followed up by, so it was a little soured, but it is. I also like that moment afterward where Harry's, like in his inner
Yes,
thought,
he's
was like touched by
"Aw,"
that.
but I want to know.
So my favorite line. Harry felt something brush against his knees and started, but it was only Crookshanks, Hermione's bandy-legged ginger cat, who wound himself once around Harry's legs, purring, then jumped onto Sirius's lap and curled up. Sirius scratched him absent-mindedly behind the ears as he turned. I just liked Sirius just chilling and just, oh, Kitty,
Yeah.
yes, I love you.
And it's a callback to book 3.
That's
'cause
right.
They were buddies.
Yeah. So I'm out. That's all my
Okay.
chosen ones.
I have a silly one. I mean, we kind of mentioned this moment, but sit down, Harry, said Sirius. You've met Mundungus, haven't you? The thing Harry had taken to be a pile of rags gave a prolonged grunting snore and then jerked awake. Someone say my name.
Okay, I
Mundungus-
like that.
Okay, Mundungus mumbled deeply. I agree with Sirius. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's silly, and the way she writes the
Mhm.
dialogue, it really gives you that, like, gruff, he, like, almost sounds drunk to me, voice.
He probably is.
He probably is.
I love that. And you should have voiced Mundungus in the new audiobook
Oh, thank you.
version. Do you have any more favorite
That
ones?
is it.
That's it. So that's all of our chosen ones.
Chosen ones.
Hey, she's on board. That's all of our chosen ones. Moving on now to our transfigurations. And these are differences that the movies made from the books. As wonderful as these two chapters are, there's not that many transfigurations. There are glaring omissions, though. So I guess the ones to point out for this chapter, the argument that takes place at the table. Pretty much this whole chapter is just being at the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the argument that takes place at the table in the book is in the movie is much, much shorter. It's really just like Harry saying, well, I want to know. And Molly's like, but he's just a boy. And Sirius going, I'm going to tell him. And then it ends with Molly being like, all right, that's enough. And it's hardly anything in the book. We also don't get her really mean moments against
Mhm.
Sirius. but I think we do get the line of he's as good as in the movie, and that's a great delivery. So that's one of them. So it's a much shorter one in the movie. Also, in the book, there's an odd moment where Sirius says Voldemort's after something he didn't have before, and Harry in the book says like a weapon, and Harry's the one to say in the movie, Sirius says like a weapon, so that they give that line to him, which we'll talk about in the restricted section. I hate the use of the word weapon when describing this thing.
Yeah,
Spoiler
I feel
for
like
that. I hate it.
they're wrong for doing that in the movie too,
Yeah.
because I feel like the adults kind of know.
It makes sense for Harry to say it here because they're like, sure, if you want to think that, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the other one is that, as we talked about, Ginny leaves the room in the book, but in the movie, she's present for the conversation. She's at the table with the rest of them. So that's pretty much all the transfigurations I have. We don't get other certain moments like the moment of the twins losing control of the plate of food and the knife almost stabbing. There's no like a lot of the conversations aren't there, but that's there's not much else. It's omissions mainly.
Mundungus in the movie?
Mundungus is there, yes.
Oh yeah, he's like the short guy.
Yeah, we need him for later.
I know. I was gonna say if he wasn't a big mistake.
Oh, that reminds me, and spoiler for later stuff.
Spoiler.
That's right. All right, moving on now to our Golden Snitches. Okay. Golden Snitches. I got to pull it up here. Here's the thing, listeners. Emily showed up to my house, and I'm a terrible human being and didn't have my notes finished. So we're all going to I just typed in on the Harry Potter wiki each Golden Snitch. So we're going to learn it together in real time.
Yay.
The very first one I have is Evanesco. At least I thought
I thought you were gonna say Evanescence.
That's I definitely think of you.
Really?
When I think of that lady. All right, Evanesco. Oh my gosh, Emily. So the hand movement. But you know that it's the spell that removes dirt and trash. It cleans stuff up. It's often been used as like to clean up poop, one might say. And I think I maybe even mentioned it before, but we're gonna say it anyway. But here's the wand movement for it. It looks like a poop emoji. Listeners, you can't see it, but it's like the poop squiggle. That's funny. Anyway, the vanishing spell, Evanesco, was a transfiguration spell used to vanish both animate and inanimate objects into non-being, which is to say, everything. That's crazy. Where's that from? Anyway, the vanishing spell was one of the most complicated spells taught at OWLs. It became more difficult with the complexity of the animal to be vanished. Are you getting rid of animals? For instance, a snail as an invertebrate was rather simple, whereas the mouse as a mammal presented a greater challenge. What?
Wait, so you're like unaliving them or just taking their existence away?
I don't know. McGonagall apparently mentions this later in the book. So this is from this book, but she mentions it when they're studying it later. The greatest challenge, however, was the vanishment of a kitten, which Hermione is able to do at one point, apparently. Minerva McGonagall stated that vanished objects went into non-being, which was to say everything. Again, we don't know what that means, listeners. What does that mean?
Non-being?
I like that you put your glasses on.
I have to think, so I must put my glasses on. But like, did they subscribe to like matter cannot be
created or destroyed?
Or is that
That's like the thermodynamic principle? I think they do subscribe to that.
So it just kind of like becomes atoms?
Like emulsifies or whatever into everything.
That's terrible.
Poor kitten. Oh.
Can they like remake? Okay, whatever. This is upsetting to me.
Maybe you can disappears into the ether and then you can summon it back, you know?
I wonder if it feels anything. Can you do this to human beings?
I hope not. I
feel like they would use this a lot more.
Yeah. Certain objects could be enchanted to resist vanishing spells, such as something that's a spoiler for later in the book. Anyway, etymology. The incantation Evanesco is a Latin word meaning vanish or disappear.
Ooh.
Behind the scenes, the spell Evanesque featured in the Harry Potter trading card games is almost certainly a misspelling of Evanesco.
Ooh.
The Harry Potter trading card game has misspelled a lot of things.
That's
That's what I've
hilarious.
learned in the wiki so far. Anyway, as the vanishing spell is very hard to be successfully cast on cats, let alone humans, it is very unlikely that the appearance of the spell in Harry Potter Magic Awakened is canonical. What do you mean? I guess in the Magic Awakened game, they disappear somebody's grandmother. Oh my gosh.
That's like murder.
That's crazy.
What?
Wow.
Just like make her go away. Take away her existence.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for that one. Moving on to the next one, we got Wardy Harris. Do you know who Wardy Harris was? That's a name mentioned in this chapter.
That was Sirius's.
Wrong. Wardy
no.
Harris is the person that Mundungus sold the toads to.
Oh,
And listeners, that's all the wiki says about him. Is that it's the guy that Mundungus resold the toads that he previously sold them to. I was hoping there'd be more about him. There's not. It's the only time he's ever mentioned.
why did I think his name was Will?
Will Harris. That sounds like a real name. Sounds like somebody we might know. Anyway, the next one. This was almost a Quizzitch question. Could you have told me who Millicent Bagnold was?
She was the person
You're on the right track.
that when she
She was a person.
did something, it was that she did the.
Could you? Would you? Could you?
me when I have to have a certain amount of words in an essay.
I thought you said me want to have a certain amount.
me when she
She was the minister for magic before Cornelius Fudge.
okay. I knew that. I was just testing your knowledge.
She was a British witch who served as the 31st minister for magic.
31st.
That's right. She was in office from 1980
Whoa,
to 1990.
whoa.
So
So
10
she was
years.
like rocking out in like like the new wave. Oh my gosh, like the British new wave era. Do they?
Was that
they
when the
don't-
Beatles were around? The 80s? Is that what, I don't know when the Beatles
I
were
think that
around.
was like the 60s.
Oh,
The Beatles
jeez.
fans are gonna be like,
I don't.
you don't know about the Beatles.
The Beatles, beans and toast.
I'm sorry,
We do this every time.
British people. I'm sorry. I actually grew up with the Beatles. I love the Beatles.
I don't. I feel
You
bad about
haven't-
that. I don't like
Maxwell
most of their music.
Silverhammer, bang bang, Maxwell Silverhammer. That's a real song.
Okay, I didn't know if that was one of their names.
No, it's.
Rango.
I almost said Peter Paul. It's Ringo.
I know Rango.
Rango.
Rango. Django Unchained.
Ringo, Paul, John, George.
Wasn't one of them like a murderer or crazy?
No.
No, one of them had a crazy
I
girlfriend or
I
something.
think maybe you're thinking of the Beach Boys.
Was one
He
of them a
wasn't.
murderer?
He's not crazy. But he has schizophrenia.
Okay.
Sorry. Brian.
Hope you get better.
Oh my god.
Bagnold was born in or prior to 1963. In her youth, she attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Which house do you think she was sorted into?
I'm gonna say Ravenclaw.
You would be correct. She was sorted into Ravenclaw. Okay, let me see if this is an interesting quote. I'm literally flying by the seat of my pants. Famous Ravenclaw ministers for magic include Millicent Bagnold, who was in power on the night that Harry Potter survived the Dark Lord's curse. Oh, that is cool.
Oh, slave.
And defended the wizarding celebrations all over Britain with the words, "I assert our inalienable right to party."
That
Heck
is
yeah.
amazing. I have to get that tattooed on me.
She's so much better than Fudge.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Okay. I mean, let's just leave it there. There's not much
Go out with a
Talent
bang,
shots.
girl.
that you need to know. I'm looking at other things. Ooh, I guess she was in office when Sirius was arrested and not given a trial.
Yikes, we're gonna overlook that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that quote was too good.
Yeah, there's some bad eggs in there.
Everyone makes mistakes. The evidence was stacked against him. In her defense, hey, get behind me. What's her name?
Satan? Get behind me, Satan? Is that?
No, I'm
Oh,
talking
I'm
about
sorry.
her.
I wasn't listening to what you were saying. I thought you were asking me to finish a quote. Get behind me, Millicent.
Get behind me, Millicent. Where does Satan come?
Get behind me, Satan. That's what Jesus says to Peter.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Of
We were-
course,
we were
that's
thinking-
what you would think.
I just heard the phrase "get behind me," and I was like,
He's
"Oh
like
yeah, sorry." I
The
was
like
not-
Bible sleeper agent inside of him was like, that's a Bible quote.
That's a Bible quote. During the 1986 to 87 school year, Bagnold visited Ollivanders in Diagon Alley to have Ollivander repair her wand. She was in a hurry that day and did not want him to spend extra time testing it. Due to her haste, she accidentally knocked over several wands. I think that's a Hogwarts mystery. Yeah, that is a Hogwarts mystery.
Oh, I'm like,
thing.
this is so detailed.
I know. This is cool. Behind the scenes, Bagnold's term in office was almost the same as the real world British Prime Minister's Margaret Thatcher's tenure from 1979 to 1990. She shares the same first name and last initials as Hogwarts Slytherin student Millicent Bulstrode. I almost got them confused. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about her. Anyway, last golden snitch for this chapter. The Wizengamot. The Wizengamot, that's mentioned. The Wizengamot, formerly known as the Wizengamot Council, was Wizarding Britain's High Court of Law and Parliament. It predated the Ministry of Magic itself, dating back to the days of the medieval Wizards Council. That's interesting. Its administrative, we've been doing law for a long time. All right. Its administrative headquarters were located in the Department of Magical Law Enforcement of the Ministry of Magic, whilst the trial, it uses the word whilst the trials took place in the dungeons of the lower levels. And then this is wild. Uses whilst there and then while. And the next, while courts were in session, members wore plum-colored robes embroidered with the silver letter W. Meetings were presided over by the chief warlock or a chair of the Wizengamot.
Wizengamot.
Yeah, there's a whole lot, but it is a lot, so I won't say it all.
It's like when you are in school and they start talking about the like laws in like parliament or whatever of another country, and you're like, okay.
Yeah,
This is interesting to somebody.
I'm sure it is. And
Not to
you know
me,
what?
though.
Future Barry, if he has the time, will read the rest of this and chime back in with perhaps other important information. If he doesn't, then there was either nothing good there or I didn't want to. All right.
And you'll never know which
You'll
one.
never know. All right, moving on now to chapter 6. Do you need to take a break?
Nope.
Fantastic. Let's do it. The noble and most ancient house of Black. Mrs. Weasley says, it's bedtime. Jenny is definitely not asleep, though. She's walking up the stairs and she goes, Hermione, don't wake up Jenny. She's probably asleep. And they're like, yeah, right.
She's not asleep.
Shout out Ron, though. He feeds the Hootie Air Doggos whenever they walk in there, you know?
The Hootie Air Doggos.
You
I
like-
hate that.
You love that. You like that, listeners. He feeds the owls when he walks in. You know, Harry, inconsiderate boy, goes straight to his bed. But Ron's like, we got to take care of these birdos.
He's slacking on the care.
Yeah. Ron also locks the door. Respect. Okay. You know, he says this because it's creature. And this is a dumb note. Listeners, this isn't meant to sound as dumb as it sounds, but I wrote, he's the man in the relationship. That's definitely a blue job. So, like,
Oh my God.
I don't listen. I'm just
You're gonna get the shippers over here.
I'm just basing this on my marriage, but like,
You lock the door.
I like at whenever we're going to bed at night, sometimes I even think, did I shut I shut everything down in the house. And like, did I lock the doors? So I'll even be comfy cozy. I'm like, no. If I were to die in my sleep tonight because I didn't lock the front door, that would be a big bummer. So I lock the front door, lock this door over here, you know, take care of it. It's a blue job is how some people, you know, you heard that term before? Blue
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like same.
It's a blue job.
It's a dumb joke. It's not a joke. It's just words leaving my mouth. I like that they start talking about what they learned, and Harry just thinks, we didn't really learn anything. Like,
That's true.
we kind of could have just guessed at all of what they told us. Fred and George pop in, though, and who sits on Harry's bed?
George.
King George. They pop in on top of Ron's knees. He's like, bloody hell, what are you doing on my knees? You're giving me a flippity gibbet. I'm getting a Charlie horse.
Oh my God. We're being so offensive.
George, you bit my finger. Anyway,
That could have been one of the Beatles.
I could have been one.
There was a George.
There was a George.
That could be a Beatles quote and no one would know. Who said it? Harry or one of the Beatles? Let us know.
Edit. They speculate that Dumbledore is keeping the weapon hidden at Hogwarts, just like the Sorcerer's Stone. And I wrote down LOL because that was so well protected.
Yeah.
Now, Emily, Ron says the weapon should be a lot bigger than the stone, but the twins assure him that size is no guarantee of power. All right, remember that, listeners. Because why?
Because Ginny
That's right.
is small yet powerful.
Tiny but mighty.
Just like me.
Oh, that's true. You don't want to get on Emily's bad side.
Yeah.
It's very small side. You wouldn't fit. Anyway, because she does the bat bogey hex, which I didn't write down in Golden Snitches. Don't let me forget that.
Okay.
Just then, as they start to mention what the weapon could be, Molly comes to snooping, and the boys are like, "Oh, we're getting out of here. Stay right on out." Harry starts to go to bed, though. He has a silly little dream where he pictures Hagrid, like, teaching them in care of magical creatures. "Today, Harry, we're learning about weapons." Harry looks, and he just sees, like, what creatures with cannons for heads is what it says, or something like that. But anyway, he wakes up. He's curled up in a nice warm ball, it says. And I was like, he's maximum comfy.
Yeah, I was kind of jealous.
But it's time for brekkie, and they got to clean things. Half an hour later, they've breakfasted, and they're suited up, ready for cleaning. There's a nest of dead puffskins. That's so sad. I know, we've been to Universal, and you've seen what they look like. And I was like, oh, poor puffs.
Are those the fluffies?
I think it's the little fluffy balls.
Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
She just Molly finds a nest of dead ones. That's so sad to come across. But anyway, they're in the drawing room, and they need to de-doxy the place. And I like, Emily, have you listened to any of the new audiobooks yet?
I have not.
So we made a joke about that before. That's why I was so particular in asking that question. But anyway, in the new audiobook version for this full cast audio with all the sound effects, when they're talking during this scene, it sounds like they have masks on. And it's really cool because, it says they have masks on.
That's such a good touch.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have covered my mouth. I don't know if the listeners heard that. I said it sounds like they have masks on. But anyway, Molly throws shade at Creature. Why do I say? Oh, because she's like, I doubt, like, what has that house elf even been up to? This is the worst, like, case of doxies I've seen in, like, forever. And that upsets Hermione. She gives her a mean look.
Don't talk about him.
But really, you should. Molly and Sirius are being super kind to each other, kind of like that stiff wooden politeness of, yes, absolutely. Have you ever been like that with people, Emily?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Of course, I'll be nice to you. So almost sounded like freaking, what's that comedian? The one that talks like this.
Oh, John Mulaney.
John Mulaney. And what's the jukebox? What do they play in the jukebox? And we play.
Oh, wait, what?
What song is that?
Oh, the B-52s, Love Shack?
No, he's like, there's a song that he tells a joke about. He and his friends go to a diner, and they put a song on the jukebox.
Oh,
and
it's a joke he tells.
Yeah, and he's like, and it's a wonderful song. One time. And when it's almost over, I really like, he goes, we put $20 in and played What's Up Pussycat like 20 times in a row. It's a good joke.
LOL.
Anyway, we get... okay. So for one, I read ahead, but some of the quick notes, the doorbell rings, Sirius has to leave to answer the doorbell, Harry lingers to hear like all this stuff. Emily, when de-doxing, you need a guide. Luckily, Mrs. Weasley has one. All right. She's got a very good one. And she consults the beep. I say beep because that's Zach's Quizzitch question for this week. What's the name of that book? But it's from Lockhart. It's the Lockhart's.
I thought that was so silly.
Yeah, that's just still using
when
it.
I saw it, I was like, it's our fave. It's our boy.
It's our king. That's
king.
my boy.
That's my son.
Anyway, they get to squirting. That is the line that is used. It was one,
the
two,
self-satisfied face.
Squirt. I don't get why you're laughing.
No, I'm not laughing.
Fred and George nick a few of the doxies because when you squirt doxies, when you just cover them in all of that liquid, it like does something to them when they get covered in that, and they fall to the floor, paralyzed from the squirt. So Fred and George are like, Oh, we're going to keep a few of these for testing. We learn about the skiving snack boxes and the puking pastilles. Harry's like, how do they work? And, we hear the whole explanation of you bite one half, all right, and it makes you start vomiting. And then you bite the other half and it stops you from vomiting. At least it's supposed to. My note was like, what I was trying to write down the explanation for this was, okay, sharks, here's how the puking pastilles work. Do you get that?
No.
Shark Tank.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, I hate you.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
That movie?
My sister and a baby. Is that what that's from?
That's Shark Tale.
Wait, then what are you talking about?
Shark Tank, the business show where they go on and they pitch business ideas to people. Oh my gosh.
There's like a 1-letter difference. Wait, Shark Tank? There's 2-letter differences.
Difference. Anyway, back to the podcast. Harry goes, who are the testers? And you're like, well, at the moment, it's just us. Harry's just checking on his investment because he gave him all that money last year. And he's like, I'm pleased to know you
I
guys.
see the tie-in for Shark Tank.
Yeah. No, you don't. Shut up. When they finally do take a break at midday, Molly gets her chance to yell at Mundungus because, he brings in all the cauldrons and she all caps him,
Yes.
Not that doesn't mean shoot, listeners, that the text is in all caps. Silly dung. I wrote down, you can't let her get into her stride. That's what one of the twins says. Just then, Creature, the house elf, comes in, talking all catty. Like he's just muttering under his breath.
Oh, he's got an attitude.
He's the sass king.
Yeah.
All right. He's muttering under his best. When he's talking to the twins, when he mutters, he says, unnatural little beasts they are. And it says like Harry wasn't sure if he should laugh or not. They try to introduce him to Harry, and he talks some more poop about Hermione. It's a whole thing. He's like, the mudblood's talking to me, and everybody gets all up in a tizzy about that. Creature talks to Sirius. I like that moment where Sirius says, like, maybe you could actually do some cleaning for once. This place looks terrible. And Creature says, oh, Master always liked his little joke, didn't he? I'm sounding like that freaking Monsters Inc. lady.
Oh.
Master always liked his little joke. That's going to be my Creature voice.
Always watching.
Creature is always watching. Hermione tries to argue for Creature, but Sirius says we can't set him free because Hermione's like, you should just set him free and it'll be all right. But why can't they set him free?
He knows too much.
I've seen everything. Tapestry time. They all walk over to the tapestry. It's the Black family tree, and the tapestry is like this super famous thing in the Harry Potter fandom. Like tons of Harry Potter Instagrammers, I see it on their page, and here's the thing. It does look really cool. It's this green tapestry with the tree and all these cool branches coming off and people's faces on it. Some are burned and some are not. But the thing is, I hate it.
Why?
You're so distraught. To me,
I like it.
I like it too, but it's one of those things I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to like, because of what it is. It's like when we talked about people getting dark mark tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this is a white supremacist type of tree. Like you don't even say, like, it's essentially what it is. It's a blood supremacist
black
tree.
tapestry tote bag, and I have like a little trinket dish, and I have a little cup.
It's cool. Like Bailey
and, like, the
wanted,
wallpaper.
we almost had it as the wallpaper in the nursery. We did, because we were like, oh, that would look kind of cool. So we're not against it. And I think Bailey even has something somewhere around here that is the Black family tapestry. But yeah, I've always been like, it is odd why we like it so much.
It is. I will blame Mina Lima for that because it's so beautifully done.
Mm-hmm. It's like my brother growing up. At my mom's dinner table, you were not allowed to say like inappropriate jokes. You weren't allowed to say bad things. However, my brother learned that if you were funny enough, you could say anything. And like if it was funny enough, my parents would laugh and he'd get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, it's like you could be evil, but if you look cool, it's like K-pop Demon Hunters,
Yeah.
You haven't seen it, have you?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me neither, stupidly. I didn't make a whole podcast episode retelling K-pop Demon Hunters storyline. Check out that episode, listeners.
I'm behind the times.
Yeah, that's all right. Anyway, we get some serious lore. All right. why did I write 16? Because he left the house when he was 16. So Sirius's face is burned off of the family tree because whenever he turned 16, he left the house. He hated their blood supremacist ways. He stayed with the Potters. He hung out with Harry's grandparents. And I love that he said even when he grew up, he was always welcomed at the Potters for Sunday lunch or brunch, whatever it was. And I'm like,
So
"Aw."
sweet.
Yeah. We hear about Regulus, his brother, his younger brother, joining the Death Eaters and then subsequently dying soon after because he's like, you can't just resign from being a Death Eater. Here's one of the things I really like that I heard it, at least I felt like I did in the voice actor's impression in the audiobook. But when he mentions his brother, he says, "Stupid idiot." And then he continues his sentence. And it's like, it almost sounded like a regretful, stupid idiot. Like, how sometimes people speak like that when they're talking about somebody like, what an idiot. I can't believe it. But they mean like, I love this person. I hated that this happened to them. Because ultimately what we learn is Regulus doesn't agree with Voldemort. And that's why he wanted to resign, at least not to the extent. At least that's what we hear in this moment. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And so I felt like there was that tone of like Sirius hates his family, but he may have actually felt something for his brother. That's kind of the vibe I got in this moment.
And the fact that he went back on supporting Voldemort, I think maybe impressed him a bit.
Yeah,
maybe he
lends to
doesn't want
that.
to admit that, but
And the fact that it was like on Voldemort's orders that Regulus was killed.
yeah.
So Molly walks in, lunch. Molly walks in with lunch, and the others go to her, but Harry stays with Sirius to look at the tapestry some more. We hear about Phineas Nigellus, all right, who was Sirius's grandfather. He was a headmaster of Hogwarts, the least popular. I love Hogwarts Legacy. Listeners, if you haven't played it, you don't know, Phineas Nigellus is the headmaster in Hogwarts Legacy because it takes place in like 1890 or something like that. Tonks, we find out, is also related to Sirius.
They're all related.
That's what we come to find out. So we find out Sirius is related to the Malfoys as well. And Harry's like, ew. And Sirius goes, bro, chill. All right. All the pureblood families are related.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah. The only people you won't see on this tree are the Weasleys because they are some blood traitors. We learn that Sirius is related to Bellatrix. And the mood kind of sours after that because Sirius is just like, geez, I hate these freaking people. But they talk about Harry's hearing, and Harry's like, oh, shoot. Forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yikes.
Sirius tries to comfort him, though. I did laugh when Harry says, if I do get expelled, can I come and live with you? And Sirius is just like, maybe. It's kind of, he says, we'll see, but that's the vibe it gave off.
I know. I'm like, serious? Give him something to look forward to, even if you're lying.
Yeah. They eat, and then they get back to cleaning. Some interesting stuff is said very quickly in these next two paragraphs. And I love moments like these in the Harry Potter books. Like, moments like these are some of my absolute favorite because they really amplify the world. It's just quick little things that are tossed out that are so cool. So we hear about this, this snuff box that bites Sirius's hand and gives him, it makes his whole hand like scabbed over, and he looks at it all weird, like, oh, that's odd. It's like Jack Sparrow in The Curse of the Black Pearl, whenever he's like, interesting. You know? You also hear that we hear about the book Nature's Nobility, a history of like the purebloods houses, which is a wild title. For that.
That's crazy.
We get the mention of one of Sirius's relatives being a first class, Order of Merlin first class, and then the music box. The music box is crazy.
Freaky.
Like starts to put them all to sleep, and they only live because Ginny is like, hey, let's close that thing.
She slams it shut.
Yeah.
She's sharp.
It's a Pandora's box, listeners. Ron hides from some spiders, so the days go by and they kind of yada yada the next few days. But at one point, Ron, they go to clean a room and this has like spiders as big as your hands or however big they were. And Ron's like, I'm going to go make some tea. And it says he's gone for the next hour and a half. We see Snape and McGonagall drop by. There's a ghoul in the toilet that Tonks helps them get rid of. A mean grandfather clock is shooting nuts and bolts at them. Lupin helps them get rid of that. Some robes try to strangle Ron. And that was almost a question for you, was what does Mundungus save Ron from? And it's these purple robes. And that kind of makes Molly go like, all right, I don't 100% hate you. The chapter ends with Harry, with them telling Harry, oh, by the way, your hearing's tomorrow. And Molly can't help but be catty one last time when he's like, Harry looks at Sirius, kind of implying, oh, you're not coming with me? And Molly goes, no, Sirius isn't going with you. Dumbledore thinks that, and Sirius like, that it wouldn't be a good idea. Like, yeah, Molly, you shouldn't have said that. Also, Dumbledore sucks. And that's the end of the chapter. Yay!
Yay!
All right, moving on to our favorite lines, our
Chosen
ones. I don't know if it's going to stick. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, shall I kick us off this time?
Yes.
All right. I got three in this one, I think. We'll see how this goes. So my first one, very first page of the chapter. When they say that Ginny was asleep, if Ginny's not, this is Fred, if Ginny's not lying awake waiting for Hermione to tell her everything they said downstairs, then I'm a flubberworm.
Yeah.
That's funny. Was that one of yours?
It was.
Oh no.
See? It's okay.
Okay,
I have a lot.
What's another one of yours?
We did say this, but I'm gonna highlight this because of course. Yeah, size is no guarantee of power, said George. Look at Ginny. Yay!
Yeah.
Because she's small yet mighty.
Yeah, that bat bogey hex, bruh. One of mine is George. The idiots are letting her get into her stride, said George, shaking his head. You've got to head her off early. Otherwise, she builds up a head of steam and goes on for hours. And that's just funny. The twins knowing their mom so well. I like it a lot because I know a pair of identical twins that like graduated from my youth group last year, and they are troublemakers just like these. And so I can picture them, and their mom is just like that as well. Like, it gives me Molly Weasley vibes. Anyway, what's another one of yours?
Creature is cleaning, the elf repeated. Creature lives to serve the noble house of black, and it's getting blacker every day. It's filthy, said Sirius. Master always liked his little joke.
Very good. So this is Harry's inner monologue near the end of the chapter. Snape might refer to their work as cleaning, but in Harry's opinion, they were really waging war on the house, which was putting up a very good fight, aided and abetted by Creature. And I just thought that was a clever little line that they said there. That's all my favorite lines. It's all my chosen ones. Emily, do you have any more?
Those are all my chosen ones.
Here. Very good.
Here.
All right, moving on to our transfigurations, differences that the movies made from the book. So the very first one, this chapter is omitted. It does not happen in the movie. So there's the dinner that night, and then it's like the next day
is the trial.
Yeah, Harry and Arthur are in the train station, going to the subways. That's how the next scene opens up. So straight to the after dinner is straight there. But some things to point out, some other kind of changes. Hermione doesn't give a crap about Creature in the movie. She never says anything about him, doesn't mention him. But that's also because the whole house elf plotline with Hermione, the spew plotline, isn't in there at all.
It was completely nixed.
Yeah, I wonder if the TV show will.
It should.
Yeah, it really should, because that's like, especially.
It's such an integral part of her character.
Yeah.
It's
And, like,
kind of a bummer.
Plays a big moment. That's restricted section. But anyway, yeah. Another thing that I have is that Harry and Sirius, they look at the family tree later. It doesn't take place. Like, they do have a scene where they look at it. I can't remember if that happens after the trial and before they go to school, or if it happens during Christmas break in the movie, but it does happen after the
Later.
trial. Yeah, so it's not here. And really, that's all the transfigurations, because like I said, none of this takes place in the book. So short 2 transfiguration sections we have in this episode, listeners. Moving on now to what is sure to be a lot of fun, Golden Snitches. So here's the thing. I have like 10 that I haven't looked at. Here's what I'll do. because I want to get some of your reactions to some of these.
Okay.
So I'll say like 5 of them, and then Future Barry will come in and say the rest, so I don't aimlessly scroll the wiki for like 30 minutes.
Okay.
How about this? You select which ones, if you can read my handwriting, which ones you would want me to do. It's at the bottom of the page. Which one do you want to hear about? You can't read my
I
handwriting.
can't.
Yeah, that's a shame.
The music box is definitely one. Do you want me to just like select one and you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the music box. All right. A music. Well, again, I'm looking at this live. So
A music box is a box that plays music.
a music box is an automatical musical instrument in a box that produces musical notes by using a set of pins placed on a revolving cylinder or disc to pluck the teeth of a steel comb. That's on the Harry Potter wiki. Okay, but here's where it starts to change. Some music boxes have been known to be enchanted, causing whoever listened to its tune to fall asleep. It mentions the one in the House of Black. It also talks about some Hogwarts mystery lore.
Mhm.
Apparently they give Romilda Vane one, but they give her one in like the 2010s. So like way later. Because Hogwarts mystery goes on for a while. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I wrote it down because I thought it would have some allusion to Pandora's box, because I thought maybe it was an allusion to that.
So it doesn't kill them; it just puts them to sleep.
Who knows? Who knows?
Hmm.
Anyway, that's really all it is. Another quick one we can shout out is Toujours Pur. I think that's how you say it. Which means what, Emily?
Always pure.
That's right. It is the French motto of the House of Black, meaning always pure. And that's pretty much it's meant to be symbolic of how they would disown anybody who married non-magical people or muggle-borns and remove them from the family. All right, what else do you want to hear about?
I want to hear about the permanent sticking charm.
The permanent sticking charm. All right, the permanent sticking charm was a charm that magically stuck one object to another indefinitely. It was unknown how, if at all, this charm could be lifted, leaving an object to stick indefinitely. Talks about some known uses. I did find this interesting. It is never said whether the charm prevents the object from being removed by cutting away the section of the wall, like if that would work.
Oh yeah.
Could you just like cut out the wall, or would that still hold it into place?
Does it exist in that section of space? Like, what if they demolished the building?
Would that just still be hanging there?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are things we shouldn't pull too tight, like pull the thread too much on.
I know, we could be here forever.
Yeah. And it is never mentioned in the series if there was like a counter charm to it. However, unlike some spells, the effect of the permanent sticking charm does not expire after the caster dies, which is a
That's
thing with a lot of
interesting.
spells.
How
When
many
they say permanent, they
spells-
mean permanent.
I wonder how many spells like exist past the expiration date of the caster.
Love.
Okay.
The love sacrifice. I mean, it's activated because of that.
I'm like corny.
No, shut up, Emily. All right, what's another one? Give me one. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 2 more.
Is this Alfonso Black?
Yeah, Alphonse Black.
Alphonse.
Yeah, that's sorry, that's wrong. Alphard Black.
Alphard.
That's my poor handwriting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
scribbles.
I
It's
write
okay.
these down so haphazardly. He was a pureblood wizard and a member of the noble house of Black. Alphard was the middle child of Pollux Black and Irma Crab, and the brother of Walburga and Cygnus. Alphard never married or had any children. He was born sometime after his sister. Before his brother, grew up in Twelve Place. He attended Hogwarts, sorted into Slytherin, passed away from unknown causes. In his will, he left a decent amount of gold to his nephew Sirius, who was 17 at the time, and he was posthumously disowned and removed from the Black family tree tapestry by Sirius's mother, Walburga. And Sirius believed that this act of charity toward him was the reason why. Yeah. So.
Irma Crab. Irma Crab.
Irma Crab.
Irma Crab.
Like many members of the Black family, Alphard is named after a star. It is the brightest star in the constellation Hydra and is known as the heart of the serpent. Oh, I like that.
That
So
is
he's
really
like the only
cool.
one with a heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good
that's actually
touch
kind of
there.
cool. Okay. And that's all I got for
Nice.
that one.
Doxies.
Doxies. Okay, here we go. Doxies. The Doxy, sometimes referred to as the biting fairy, was a small fairy-like magical beast, sometimes mistaken for a fairy, preferring cold climates. The Doxy was found throughout Northern Europe and North America. The Doxy was covered in coarse black hair and had an additional set of arms and legs. Doxies had shiny beetle-like wings and a double row of sharp teeth. If bitten, a wizard or witch should take an antidote immediately, as their venom was highly poisonous. Doxies also possessed a chameleon-like tongue that they could extend to catch and eat smaller prey, such as billywigs. Ooh. They buried their eggs underground, and a Doxy queen could lay up to 500 eggs at once. Heck yeah. The eggs usually hatched in 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
They were considered pests. You needed the Doxy side. You could also dispatch them with a knockback's jinx. Doxies were also the favorite food of the venomous tentacula. So you could feed these guys to that plant. That's
I remember that
crazy.
from, isn't that in Hogwarts Mystery?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of the games too. Doxy is so etymology. Doxy is an archaic English term meaning prostitute.
Okay.
It derives from the German word Doc, meaning doll. That's kind of crazy.
Ooh.
In the Game Boy Color video game adaptation of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the Folio Bruti entry for these creatures is titled Doxy Drone. This might mean that, like the male honeybees, Doxies may have a biological haploid sex determination system. Yeah, just like bees.
Wow.
Yeah, or simply that male Doxies have distinct behavioral patterns. Despite being accurately described in Fantastic Beasts, video game adaptations normally don't depict them the way they're described in that book. And that's about it for them. All right, we're going to wrap up that Golden Snitch section because I have a lot more. Future Barry will come back in with more articulated and well-crafted things. Really, I just want to talk about Phineas and Nigella. Was there anything else to mention? We got the Puffskins. It's fine. We're all good there. All right, moving on now, listeners. That wraps up the main bulk of the episode. So here at this part, we get to this portion of the episode where we talk about spoilers. This is the restricted section. So if you stuck with us this long and you don't want to be spoiled, we bid you adieu at this point. Thank you for joining us. It was wonderful to have you here. Please be sure to come back next week for another wonderful episode. Emily won't be there, but I will. What more do you need?
The people want Emily.
She'll be back later in the season, people. All right, get over it. But thank you for listening. Hope to see you next week. Moving on now to the restricted section, also known as the Department of Mysteries.
Ooh, I like that one.
I'm glad you do. Freaking in the previous episode, Jesse and Jonathan were like, yeah, that's not a blatantly obvious thing to say. I thought it was clever.
And it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I had 3 things. Do you remember what was the restricted? Oh, the Bat Bogey Hex. Was that what I wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Yeah. That's like Ginny uses that spell. So it's mentioned here that she is adept at that spell, but that's like her signature, kind of like Harry's is Expelliarmus. Hers is the Bat Bogey Hex. It's the reason she gets invited to join the Slug Club, because Slughorn sees her performing on another student. She's like, dang, this blood trader's got some skill.
She's not messing around.
The other one, as I said before, the weapon. I hate that it's called the weapon.
The weapon. It's so misleading.
Yeah.
Which is probably purposeful for like literary function or whatever, but.
So I get that like Harry calls it that and everybody's just like, yeah, let's roll with that. But I just remember this is one of the first books. I remember portions reading Goblet of Fire for the first time, but I remember almost all of my thoughts reading this for the first time and my whole experience. And I remember going by the end of the book, what was the weapon?
Yeah.
Like how
you're like waiting for like a bazooka or something.
That was like what Harry was dreaming about. I just remember thinking, how is a prophecy a weapon? Because that's what they're talking about. And I understand like knowledge is power type of thing, but it's just not a well-named thing. Even in my episode I had an episode with Brett's Thoughts where we talked about the 10 things we would want them to change in the HBO show. And this was one of mine where I was like, the use of the term weapon for this thing. I don't like that. I think maybe it was an honorable mention. But yeah, I just thought it was oddly named.
Yeah.
Another big thing too. So this show, we're all about recapturing the magic. We talked about this earlier. All about recapturing the magic. I don't want to poke too many holes in this series. I love this series. I will want to enjoy it. That's the vibe of this show. That's what I want it to stay. However, I remember thinking like, I don't see how Voldemort learning the prophecy would change anything. You know? Like,
Yeah.
what bit of listeners, somebody write in and let me know.
Because it
doesn't change anything. It's already come
can
to place.
live while the other survives.
Yeah, and it basically says they have to be the ones to kill each other. But at the same time, like Voldemort is already telling his peeps, hey, nobody kill him. He's mine.
But me. Yeah, like it's a pride thing.
I
So
get,
it's like ultimately if he hadn't known, he'd still be trying to be the one to do it.
I guess there's a world in which you could say if Voldemort were to hear this, he'd maybe realize that it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, like a sham that he could just ignore. And it's not actually be true. It's only true because it's what happens, not because it's like determined to, if that makes sense.
Well, I guess it's kind of misleading too, because what it means is that Harry has the piece of soul within him. So if Voldemort kills Harry, he's killing that piece of himself.
Does it mention the Horcrux and Harry in there?
Well, like neither can live while the other survives.
Maybe it just
Hold
mentions too
on.
strong of an attachment with each other. The other thing that I think could be an issue is that this is probably the biggest one that could be a problem. It would reveal that Snape didn't tell him the full prophecy. But I mean, actually, no, that's not a thing at all because he knows that. Because why else is he still going after the prophecy? See, I don't get why it's a big deal for Voldemort to get this prophecy.
I think he wants a leg up. He also is like just very prideful. Like he feels like he's owed this information about himself. And he knows it happened because that's what led him to Harry in the first place, right?
Maybe. I'm just going to type into Google why this is a big deal. Because this is literally like the MacGuffin of the book. And I've always been like, I don't know.
I want to see what they know on
Yeah.
Reddit.
Let's go to the Reddit. And the Reddit post says, what would have happened if Voldemort had read the prophecy in the Department of Mysteries? One person says, has 512 upvotes. It's the number one here. Nothing. The prophecy didn't contain any useful information that Voldemort could have used against Harry. The prophecy also didn't matter, as Dumbledore explains in Half-Blood Prince. One person replying, that's like the top reply here.
It's like an essay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to read the whole thing. The key here is the lines of the prophecy Voldemort didn't hear, but he will have the power the Dark Lord knows not, and either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives. Harry is kept safe because Voldemort does not realize that Harry's a Horcrux.
I knew it had something to do with the Horcrux.
Voldemort doesn't seem to realize that Harry's connected to him until halfway through the Order of the Phoenix. Okay. And we're back, listeners. We tried our best. Ultimately, what the good people on Reddit, which is a wild sentence to say, good people on Reddit, what the good people on Reddit have speculated is that basically what Emily said, good job, Emily,
Yay!
is that if Voldemort were to have heard it, then he might have made the connection that Harry is a Horcrux, potentially.
Yes.
So there's that. That's all I got to say on the prophecy.
But in the initial prophecy, because he only heard the first part,
That
he
he'll mark him
needed
as
to
equal and all
only
that.
hear the first part. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made Harry a
Yeah.
Horcrux.
That
Like
part's-
it was always going to happen.
Very good.
Interesting.
My other restricted section thing is the locket, as we mentioned. So in Quizzitch, Emily so meanly said that I couldn't say the obvious one of the things they found. And the obvious one is the locket. One of the Voldemort's Horcruxes is mentioned for the very first time in this chapter. And it's mentioned so just casually. And it's always one of those things that you speculate on of, did she know that this was a locket at this moment? Or is this something she went back and was like, what could I use?
Yeah.
I have faith. I think this is something probably pre-planned.
Yeah.
so Jesse was on the Quizzitch tournament, which I'm actually going to be on. Listeners, I'll be on the newest episode coming out again. It's a redemption episode. So if you've lost
Oh.
before, which I lost did I tell you how I lost? Yeah, it was one of the worst ways ever. I hate you, Brett's Thoughts. I hate you. But she was on, and her golden snitch question was, let's see if you get it right, Emily. What is the order in which every Horcrux appears?
Oh.
So not even stated as being a Horcrux, but in the order in which they appear.
So Harry.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny is that in that episode, Jesse goes, "Are we counting Harry as a Horcrux?" And the host, Hunter, was like, "What is the order of every Horcrux that appears?"
Harry, and then the book, Nagini.
There you go.
It was subconscious. Oh my gosh. The locket?
The locket. So we're up to speed now.
There's 7 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ring,
The ring.
the cup, then the diadem.
I don't know which one was first between the cup and diadem. Because he sees
Wait.
the diadem is in
I thought the diadem was like the very last one. Because they're like running around Hogwarts during the fight and they're trying to get it.
Well, you see it in book 6.
Oh,
In
shoot.
the
Shoot.
room of
So-
requirement. But I don't know if that appeared because you also see the cup in Voldemort's memories in book 6. So I don't know which one was first. I forget the order of those chapters.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Those are a flip-flop for me.
listeners, if you made it to this far in the episode, that can be your extra bonus question that you can leave in the comments. Let me know which one was the last one to appear. But that's all the restricted section stuff I have. Emily, did you have anything to mention here?
I will say part of the reason I chose this chapter 2 is like the politics of it. Like we start to get into the stuff with Fudge
Mm-hmm.
and like the way that Voldemort sets up his kind of political affiliations later, like with Scrimger.
Scrimjar, Jar, I don't know.
Dark times.
That's the freaking. What I love about that actor is it's the same guy who does Davy Jones.
Yes.
And
He's so
Pirates of the
good. He's
Caribbean.
also in Love Actually.
mm-hmm.
He's such a good actor.
They brought him back for the audiobooks. But what's crazy is he doesn't do Scrimger in the audiobooks. He does Slughorn in the audiobook.
Oh my god.
But like his acting is just wild in that it's, freaking the way he ends his words of like when he does Davy Jones, he does it for Scrimger a lot too of like, "You will not forestall my judgment." Like adding an extra syllable at
Yeah.
the end of his sentences.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think it's the part where Harry's like, "Oh wow, they do actually suck. You can't trust the government."
Yeah, this is the like political games book and the way that it sets up essentially the slander campaign of Dumbledore and what happens later where Dumbledore is like essentially like almost arrested.
Mhm.
Dumbledore's got style.
That's one of the quotes in the theme song.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my faves. And I don't know, I just feel like this is such a good like meat chapter if you know what you're looking for, or two chapters.
That's why these books are so wonderful on rereads. They
Yeah,
are-
definitely.
I think one of the reasons they're so popular and still popular today is because they are the most rereadable books of all time.
Yeah.
Def-
You get something different every single time. And even like different ages. Like as an adult, when I read these, like as a kid, I was like, Molly's being such a jerk. Blah, blah. As an adult, I'm like, well, she's got a point.
Dang.
And I'm also like, Sirius, you need to chill. But I also
Does
was
that mean
like,
I'm still not an adult because I'm like, Molly, you suck?
No. you see things differently, or like Sirius is like grumpy and moody, and I thought that was annoying as a kid, and now as a grown adult, also back in my own parents' house, I get it. Like I get moody and angry too for no reason when I'm around my
Just randomly-
parents.
just look at them and it
I'm
hits
like,
you.
oh my god. But like it's just funny the perspectives you get when you
Mhm.
like reread or like the things you catch. I just think it's such a good series for that.
Indeed. Well, I think that about wraps up our coverage for chapters 5 and 6 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Thank you so much for listening, dear listeners. Thank you for watching, dear viewers. Hope you have an amazing week. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
And click. Thank you for listening to Retold. Artwork for this podcast was created by Rachel Ortlip. Music was created by Taylor Jarvis. And the Retold podcast is produced by me. That's right, I made this.